In the vast expanse of deep space, where stars whispered ancient secrets and galaxies twirled to the rhythm of cosmic fate, a tempest was brewing. Humanity, a young race of dreamers and fighters, teetered on the edge of oblivion. The United Planet Federations, a coalition of alien species driven by envy and fear, had unleashed a war of unprecedented magnitude. Betrayed, outnumbered, and encircled, the humans found themselves in the grip of their darkest hour. But in the heart of this impending catastrophe, a spark of defiance ignited. Admiral Vance, a beacon of unwavering determination, commanded the final bastion of Earth's fleet. Alongside him, heroes of legendary courage, Captain Lucas Taylor, Major Mitchell, and Major Samuel Hayes prepared for a battle that would echo through the annals of history. From the shattered remnants of peace to the blood-soaked fields of Veridian, the spirit of humanity blazed with unyielding intensity. As dreadnoughts clashed and armies thundered, the fate of countless worlds hung in the balance. Would the encroaching darkness extinguish the flicker of human hope, or would the valor of a few stand as a bulwark against the shadows, tipping the scales of fate? The defeat of the United Planets Federation's UPF was a bitter pill to swallow. In their hidden bases across the galaxy, leaders plotted their revenge, determined to reclaim their lost honor. This time, their approach would be different, a war of attrition and guerrilla tactics aimed at wearing down the human defenses. And Admiral Vance, now the Supreme Commander of the Human Defense Force, stood on the bridge of the USS Powell, his eyes fixed on the holographic map displaying the known galaxy. His tall, imposing figure, with striking blue eyes and silver-streaked hair, radiated authority. The sounds of the ship's systems hummed around his, creating a symphony of technology. "Admiral, we're receiving reports of sporadic attacks on our outposts along the border," reported Lieutenant Marcus Reed, a young officer with sharp features and intense green eyes. "Prepare our fleets," Tyrell commanded, his voice firm yet calm. "It's time we show them that humanity will not be intimidated." Chapter 2. The First Skirmish. The USS Powell and its fleet jumped into hyperspace, heading towards the besieged outpost on the planet Veridian. The journey was tense, with every crew member knowing this was just the beginning of a prolonged conflict. Captain Lucas Wolfe Taylor, known for his unyielding courage and tactical brilliance, led Phoenix Squad on the ground. His rugged face, marked by scars from countless battles, was a testament to his experience. His eyes, a piercing gray, scanned the terrain as the dropship descended. "Stay alert," he ordered, his voice a low growl. "The UPF won't give up easily." As the dropship landed, the sounds of blaster fire and explosions filled the air. The squad moved swiftly, engaging the enemy with precision. The smell of burnt metal and the cries of the wounded mixed in a cacophony of war. Chapter 3. A Desperate Defense. On the surface of Veridian, the humans dug in, creating makeshift fortifications. Major Sarahawk Mitchell, a brilliant strategist with a keen eye for detail, coordinated the defense. His auburn hair, tied in a tight bun, contented with his intense brown eyes. "We need to hold this position," he said, his voice steely. "If we lose Veridian, we lose a vital link in our supply chain." Captain Samuel Hayes, a skilled medic with a calm demeanor and wise eyes, moved among the wounded, providing care amidst the chaos. His steady and sure hands worked tirelessly to save lives. The night was long, with waves of OPF forces attacking relentlessly. The sound of weapons firing, the shouts of soldiers, and the explosions of grenades created a symphony of battle. Despite the exhaustion and fear, the humans held their ground, their determination unwavering. Chapter 4. The Turning Point. As dawn broke, reinforcements arrived, led by Captain Aiden Hawke. His charismatic presence and tactical acumen were legendary. His dark hair, streaked with gray, framed a face that had seen both triumph and tragedy. "Let's push them back," Aiden commanded, his voice filled with resolve. "We fight for every inch of this ground." With renewed vigor, the humans launched a counter-offensive. The UPFF, caught off guard by the sudden surge, began to falter. The sound of retreating footsteps and the sight of fleeing enemies boosted the morale of the human forces. Lieutenant Mira Chen, a sharpshooter with a calm exterior and keen eyes, provided cover fire from an elevated position. His shots, precise and deadly, took down key targets, further crippling the UF's efforts. Chapter 5: A New Threat. Just as victory seemed within grasp, sensors detected a massive energy surge. The sky darkened as a colossal UPF dreadnought appeared, its sheer size casting a shadow over the battlefield. Admiral Vance's voice crackled over the comms. "All units brace for impact. This isn't over yet." The dreadnought's weapons charged, ready to unleash devastation. The humans, battered but not broken, prepared for the next phase of the battle. Fear and determination mixed in their hearts as they faced this new threat. Chapter 6: The Battle in Space. The vastness of space around Veridian transformed into a chaotic battlefield as the USS Powell and its fleet confronted the colossal UPF dreadnought. The once serene backdrop of stars was now a canvas painted with streaks of laser fire and explosive flashes of missile impacts. Admiral Vance stood firm on Powell's bridge, his blue eyes locked onto the tactical display. The hum of the ship's systems and the occasional tremor from near hits filled the air, a stark reminder of the high stakes. The Powell, a Bohemia heavy battle carrier, was the heart of the human fleet, and its cloaking and system jumping abilities were crucial in this fight. "Focus all firepower on their main reactor," Admiral Vance commanded, his voice cutting through the tension. "We need to disable that dreadnought." The fleet, comprised of various classes of ships, moved with precision. Smaller frigates and corvettes darted around the dreadnought, their agility allowing them to evade its heavy turbo laser batteries. Maintained a strategic distance, unleashing volleys of plasma torpedoes and railgun slugs. The dreadnought retaliated with devastating power. Its turbo lasers fired in rapid succession, their green beams slicing through the blackness of space. One of the human destroyers, the USS Sentinel, took a direct hit to its engines, sending it spiraling out of control before exploding in a brilliant flash. "Sentinels down," Lieutenant Marcus Reed reported, his voice tight with urgency. "We're taking heavy fire, Admiral. Redirect power to the forward shields and keep pressing the attack," Terrell ordered. "We can't afford to lose momentum." Amidst the battle, Captain Lucas Wolfe Taylor led the Phoenix Squad in a daring maneuver. Their ship, a heavily armed gunship, weaved through the chaos, targeting the dreadnought's weapon emplacements. The sound of their pulse cannons echoed within the gunship, each shot finding its mark and reducing the enemy's firepower. "Take out those turrets," Lucas shouted, his eyes narrowing in concentration. The smell of ionized air filled the cabin as their weapons discharged. "We need to clear a path for our bombers." The dreadnought's shields flickered under the relentless assault. Sleek and deadly human bombers swooped in, releasing their payloads of proton bombs. Explosions rocked the massive vessel, sending debris scattering into space. The sound of the bomber's engines roared in Lucas's ears, a symphony of war. And on the bridge of the Powell, Admiral Vance monitored the dreadnought's status. "Their shields are weakening," he noted, a glimmer of hope in his voice. "All units, concentrate your fire on the central reactor." The fleet responded in unison. The Powell's main cannons fired in a synchronized volley, their powerful blasts converging on the dreadnought's vulnerable point. The resulting explosion was a blinding burst of light, a testament to the precision and power of the human forces. Inside the dreadnought, chaos reigned. Systems failed, and fires broke out as the once mighty vessel began to falter. The crew, a mix of various alien species, scrambled to regain control, but it was too late. Initiate boarding procedures, Admiral Vance ordered. Captain Taylor, lead your team in. Disable their command center. Lucas and his squad launched their assault pods, breaching the dreadnought's hull. As they made their entry, the sound of metal screeching and the hiss of escaping air filled their ears. Inside, the corridors were a maze of flickering lights and smoke. Move fast and stay sharp, Lucas instructed, his voice steady despite the danger. The sound of blaster fire echoed through the corridors as they engaged enemy forces. The smell of burnt ozone and the sight of fallen combatants marked their path. Reaching the command center, they faced fierce resistance. The sound of hand-to-hand combat, the grunts of effort, and the clash of weapons created conflict. Lucas, leading the charge, fought with a ferocity born of determination. Set the charges, he ordered as they secured the room. We're taking this ship down. As the charges detonated, the dreadnought's command center was engulfed in flames. The massive vessel, now crippled, began its descent towards the planet below. The humans, victorious but weary, withdrew to a safe distance. The sight of the dreadnought's destruction lit up the night sky of Veridian, a beacon of hope and a reminder of the cost of war. Cheers and relief filled the human ships as they regrouped, preparing for the battles yet to come. Admiral Vance's calm and resolute voice echoed through the comms. Today we showed the galaxy that humanity will not be conquered, he declared. We fight for our future, and we will not be defeated. Chapter 8, Aftermath and Resolve. The battle for Veridian was over, but the war was far from won. As the humans regrouped, they knew that this was just the beginning of a long and arduous struggle. Admiral Vance, his face lined with both relief and determination, addressed the fleet. We've won this battle, but the war continues, he said, his voice carrying the weight of responsibility. We fight not just for survival, but for the future of humanity. The command center was filled with cheers and the sight of raised fists. The humans, united and resolute, prepared for the next phase of their epic struggle. Back on Earth, the leaders of the Human Defense Force convened to plan their next move. The war had taken its toll, but it had also forged a sense of unity and purpose. The sound of strategists discussing plans and the sight of maps spread across tables created an atmosphere of determination. We need to take the fight to them, Major Stephen Mitchell said, his voice firm. We can't let them regroup. With renewed resolve, the humans prepared to launch a series of offensives across the galaxy. Their goal was clear: to ensure that no threat would ever endanger their home again, and indomitable will stood ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Chapter 10, Awful New Dawn. The battle-scarred ships of the Human Defense Force hovered above the planet Veridian, their hulls reflecting the distant light of stars. After their hard-won victory over the UPF dreadnought, the fleet began to regroup and prepare for the next phase of their journey. The crew's mood was a mix of relief and resolute determination. They had survived one of the most harrowing battles in human history, but they knew their fight was far from over. Admiral Vance, his eyes showing both fatigue and steely resolve, stood on the bridge of the USS Powell. The once immaculate uniform he wore now bore the marks of battle scorch marks, tears, and the dust of distant planets. His gaze was fixed on the holographic map displaying the galaxy, pinpointing potential threats and opportunities. Admiral, the fleet is ready, reported Lieutenant Marcus Reed, his voice steady despite the exhaustion on his face. We're awaiting your orders. A mixture of seasoned veterans and fresh recruits who had proven themselves in the crucible of war. Our victory over the dreadnought has given us a momentary respite, but we must capitalize on this momentum. We need to take the fight to the UPF and ensure they can never threaten us again. The bridge buzzed with activity as commands were relayed and preparations made. The smell of ozone from overloaded circuits and the hum of advanced technology filled the air, creating a symphony of readiness. Captain Lucas Wolfe Taylor, His rugged face, lined with determination, gathered the Phoenix squad in the hangar bay. The squad's dropships were being prepped for the next mission, their sleek designs a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability. "Listen up," Team Lucas said, his voice carrying the weight of command. "We've dealt a significant blow to the UPF, but they're not finished yet. Our next mission is to disrupt their supply lines and weaken their hold on key sectors. We strike hard and fast, just like we always do." Major Mitchell, his red hair tied back and his intense brown eyes scanning the tactical display, added, "Our intel suggests that the UEUFF is regrouping in the Theta Prime sector. It's heavily fortified, but if we can take out their command centers, we can cripple their operations." Major Samuel Hayes moved among the soldiers, ensuring their medical kits were fully stocked and everyone was in peak condition. His calm presence was a balm to the nervous energy buzzing in the hangar. And remember, we're not just fighting for ourselves, but for every human colony out there. Stay sharp and look out for each other. As the fleet finalized its preparations, the human leaders convened one last strategic meeting. The room had holographic displays showing star systems, fleet movements, and potential targets. Admiral Vance addressed the gathered commanders. "Our goal is clear," he began. "We need to dismantle the UPF's ability to wage war. This means targeting their shipyards, resource depots, and communication hubs. We cannot allow them to regroup and launch another assault on our homeworlds." Captain Aiden Hawk, his dark hair streaked with gray and his presence commanding, spoke up. "We've also received reports of potential allies among the neutral planets. If we can secure their support, it could turn the tide in our favor." Lieutenant Chen, a sharpshooter known for his unerring aim and calm under pressure, added, "I've been working on a plan to infiltrate one of their main communication arrays. If we can disrupt their network, it will cause chaos in their ranks." With the plan set and the objectives clear, the human fleet launched into action. The sight of the ships moving in unison, their engines glowing as they prepared to jump into hyperspace, was awe-inspiring and sobering. The sound of engines roaring and the synchronized movements of the fleet spoke volumes about humanity's resolve and unity. As the USS Owl led the way, Admiral Vance took a moment to reflect. The galaxy had become a battlefield, but it was also a place of endless possibilities. For humanity, he whispered, a silent vow to protect and preserve their future. The jump into hyperspace was a symphony of light and motion. The stars blurred into streaks as the ship surged forward, each one a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. The vastness of space was both a challenge and a promise, filled with dangers, but also with the hope of new alliances and discoveries. The first target was a UPF shipyard in the Theta Prime sector. The shipyard, a massive structure orbiting a gas giant, was heavily defended by automated turrets and a contingent of UPUEF warships. As the human fleet exited hyperspace, they were immediately met with a barrage of defensive fire. "All units, engage," Admiral Vance commanded, his voice calm and authoritative. The fleet moved with precision, smaller ships darting in to disable turrets, while the capital ships focused on the enemy warships. The Nix squad launched from the Powell, their dropships weaving through the chaos of battle. Captain Taylor led the charge, his ship moving with the agility of a predator. "Stay tight and watch each other's backs," he ordered. The dropships breached the shipyard's outer defenses, deploying squads of heavily armed Marines. The sound of pulse rifles and the smell of ionized air filled the corridors as the humans advanced, systematically disabling key systems and sabotaging production lines. On the bridge of the Powell, Lieutenant Marcus Reed monitored the battle's progress. "We've taken out their main reactors, Admiral. The shipyard is going offline." "Good work," Vance replied. "Prepare for extraction. We move to the next target immediately." The battle for Theta Prime was swift and decisive, a testament to the strategic brilliance and determination of the human forces. But there was no time to celebrate. The fleet jumped to their next objective, a communication hub that served as the nerve center for UPF operations in the sector. As they exited hyperspace, they encountered fierce resistance. The hub was protected by a fleet of UPF ships and a network of defensive satellites. The human ships moved into formation, engaging the enemy with precision and ferocity. Lieutenant Chen and his team boarded one of the enemy frigates, fighting their way to the communication array. The corridors were a maze of gunfire and explosions, but Chen's calm precision and unerring aim led them to their target. Plant the charges, he ordered, his voice steady. We need to take this place down. The charges detonated, sending shockwaves through the hub and disrupting the UPF's communication network. The enemy fleet, now disorganized and unable to coordinate, began to fall back. The human fleet pressed their advantage, targeting the retreating ships and securing the area. The sight of the communication hub in flames, its systems shattered, was a powerful symbol of their resolve. As the fleet regrouped and prepared for their next jump, Admiral Vance addressed his commanders. We've struck a significant blow today, but our work is far from over. The UPF will not rest, and neither can we. We must continue to push forward, dismantling their ability to wage war and securing the future of humanity. The human ships jumped once more, their journey far from over. Each victory brought them closer to their goal, but the road ahead was still dangerous. Yet, in the face of overwhelming odds, they stood united and determined. The galaxy watched as the human fleet moved through the stars, a beacon of hope and defiance. Their journey was one of courage and resilience, a testament to humanity's unbreakable spirit. As they ventured into the unknown, they carried with them the promise of a new dawn, a future where humanity would stand tall among the stars, unyielding and free.